Hello everyone. I already did some talking, but I didn't realize I didn't have it going. It's my first time doing StreamYard. So I'll pull cards if anyone wants me to pull cards on them, or we can talk about ghost stories or whatever. I just want Friday night to be fun. And you can see I've got the fire going in the background. I can't wait for Halloween. It's going to be fun. I saw a story a while back and I've always wondered about them. Hi, Brenda T. Hi, Yurik. Hi. Hi, everyone. I've always wondered about, it was called the Mary Celeste in 1872 that came in and did not have anyone on board. The food was sitting down on the table, no struggles. No one ever found out what happened. So I thought I'd do some cards on that to start the night out. Okay, the Mary Celeste. What happened to the Mary Celeste? Okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is nice out here. It's hot. The mosquitoes, they want to come by me, but I have my candle going, and I even took the precaution of spraying down just in case. Oh, wow. Yeah, that we've had a break for about 3 days now of rainstorms, but they're supposed to come back Sunday, I believe. We need the rain, but oh, it's nice to have dry weather once in a while. Okay, Mary Celeste, see what it has to say. All right, I got difficulties and hardships. Well, that they had. Let's see. Okay, they were really cautious. They took all the precautions they could. The ship was in really good shape. Got 8 of Pentacles. They were very diligent. 6 of Pentacles. There was a lot of experience on the ship. The Hermit. Followed by the Ace of Cups. Had a lot of good relationships. Everyone got along on board. So it wasn't anything like that. Of course, it also said that there was no struggle on the ship. Let's see. Knight of Cups. Ace of Wands. So no matter how well they were skilled, how good the ship was in, how prepared they were, and how well everyone got along, there was a development. Lack of security. Something got past them. But the ship is not releasing its secrets. Page of Cups. The secrets are being kept. So I did not get anything from my cards. Someone more experienced and better at this than I will have to check this one out. I've always wondered about that ship, though. Going on in the chat. Oh, no, my bun. But thank you. Would anyone like any cards? I would love to do some readings. Just have fun. If you want to talk about ghost stories, go ahead and start telling me some. I've had a lot of them in my life too, believe me. I guess the house I grew up in was haunted. I never really thought about it until someone mentioned to me when I was talking about some of the things that happened growing up. You like cards, Brenda? Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. I get. Okay. Ooh. Do 3 cards. And some clarifiers. Okay. So, is authority, followed by conflict, which don't look at conflict and defeat as strong as strong with more idea. Letting go of something that you thought you were going towards or you were working on and learning that lesson and turning it elsewhere. That's the way I look at it. Temptations, not to fall into the temptation. Listen to the universe and listen to within and keep on. Did that make sense? I hope so. All right, let me put these cards in here where they won't get used again, like that. Would anyone else like some cards? I hope that made sense to you, Brenda. Oh, good. I'm glad. I think I like StreamYard. I get to see y'all talking. Would anyone else like some cards or a discussion on something? Oh, yes. My mom's going through that too. Um, she even finally caved in and allowed them to do this thing where she gets a shot once a week and it just calms her appetite. I'm not too happy with it, but she's really thrilled and she's only got like 10 pounds left to go, so she's happy. I'm waiting to see how it goes after she gets off there, but she has gotten used to not eating whenever she feels, just is bored. So I need to lose weight too, but I'm I'm going to drink plenty of water, try to do more walks, and just eat more fruits and vegetables. I'm not sure if it's going to help a lot, but I'm going to do my best. Cards for Trump's health. All right, I'm not using those cards. Those are my nice cards. I will use this card. I know. It's it's just so sad. It's taken forever for so many people to wake up. Um, they're finally doing it now that it's cost us whatever integrity there was for America. Our tourism's gone. Post offices from around the world are no longer going to ship to America or accept from America. So, yeah, some of the top Republicans, though, have decided that they're not going to run again. The ones who used to at least try to take their job seriously. So, I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's see. His health. His health. Oh dear. Okay, so we start out with the Ace of Wands. New action. We are seeing a lot of new action going on. They really are working hard at trying to cover it up. Hi, Vivian. And they have been doing a lot of different medical things on him, you can tell. Then it's followed by the Four of Pentacles, lack of security. Let's see, Page of Cups. They are getting very imaginative on how they're trying to portray him as being very healthy and robust. They are getting creative. Five of Wands, disputes. Yes, we're seeing all the disputes happening already. They're all attacking each other. They're trying to show so many different things, doing disruptions here and there, trying to keep everybody's attention elsewhere, so they're not looking at him and his health. However, the Queen of Swords is coming in, and there's going to be a woman who's very organized, very perceptive, and the truths are going to start coming out. I don't think he can hide much longer. Let me pull from, let's see, messages from guides, see what they have to say. I don't think he can hide it much longer. His first health crisis I saw was back in April, and they were able to really gloss over that. Now it looks like I kept seeing him August to September, I kept seeing a fall. I can't really see him still being in power by the end of September. Something's going to happen. I just don't see him in power. I don't know if they're going to make him leave or he is going to have the stroke, because I keep seeing a stroke, and I don't know if he's going to have a stroke and they're going to try to cover it, but it's going to cause Vance to have to step in, and that's when the House of Cards is going to just tumble. I don't know, but that's what I've been getting. So let's see. Is there any messages that we can receive concerning the health of the supposed leader of the United States? That one? Okay. Know your truth. So I think we know the truth already. We see it. He couldn't walk on the red carpet. He could not even walk on it. So I really feel that I really don't see him in office. He definitely is not going to make it through the year. There's just absolutely no way that they're going to be able to get him to make it through the year. Don't worry, Brenda. I just feel very positive. I really feel things are moving very fast. They can no longer hide it, and that's why so many Republicans are starting to jump ship. I don't think they can hide it anymore, and they know it. Now, all right, this is what I have been doing for quite some time, and I got some friends doing it too. When you do your prayers, I always end my prayers, right before I end it, I visualize bubbles of love and light, really bright bubbles of love and light. And then I ask that he and all the dictators and all those who derive pleasure in causing harm to others, those who want to control and prosper off of others, that they be placed within these bubbles of love and light, and that only love and light can come in and only love and light can go out, and that the energy that they send out bounce back to them tenfold. I started out with threefold, but I've noticed that the more and more I say tenfold, it seems like the more and more his health becomes obvious. So I'm sticking with tenfold now because, hey, all hands on deck now. Yeah, I really think, but we don't want to lower our energy because right now I feel like, I really feel like our vibrations are really rising and we don't want to do anything to lower them. So by surrounding him in those bubbles of love and light, the only person that he can affect will be himself. And those around him, it seems like everything they're doing now is starting to bounce back on them. And that's how I'm going to continue doing it. Hi, Ishka. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but I will try my best. Would anyone else want any cards or a discussion? Or I had the messages from guides. I had the soul's journey, talking to heaven, and of course some of my favorite ones. I think I've got the lid over here. Where did I put that lid? Oh well, I don't know. But anyway, anyone like any cards? Okay, Yerk. All right. You'd like some cards? All right. Let's see. We'll go back to these. All right. Okay. I will. All right, Yerk. Let's pull some cards for you. Yeah, I have some cards. Here. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, the cards I pulled up for you are solitude, taking time for yourself, keeping yourself balanced, grounded, just working on yourself within yourself. Triumph, overcoming something, whatever it is you've been battling with within yourself or without, seems like you're going to come through. And intuition, listening to yourself. Your intuition right now should be in high gear. So pay attention to yourself. Okay. All right. And you would like one on your career. Some on your career. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cards for Ishka. Please on her career. Ooh, that one just jumped right out. So we will put that over there. Ooh. It says triumph. And I put that in that deck and shuffled a couple times and it jumped right out. So looks like you're going to have triumph with your on your career. Let's see if I get two more cards. I like to do in threes. Ah, work and life. Yeah, understandable. Make sure you take time for yourself. We spent so much time being upset over everything going on that was really out of our control, that we all have to now sit back, relax, and just have fun, do something fun. Okay. Wow. Okay, so it looks like whatever it is you're working towards on your career, We got the Triumph card, and that one jumped out. So that one is the most important card from the reading. Trans Transformation and moving on. Moving on could mean moving further on into that career, not moving away, but see, walking into the light, moving into the career that you want. Transformation, it all working out. But these are really wonderful cards. Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, good luck. According to the cards, like I said, Triumph just jumped right out, and that's after I had already put it in the middle of the deck and had shuffled a couple of times, so should be very good. Oh, they're cutting hours for elder service. Oh, yeah. There's hardships everywhere, and of course, it's always going to hit the young and the elderly first. You're welcome. Just remember, though, do something fun for yourself, even when things are all getting kind of scary. Do something fun for yourself. I've started doing that too. For one thing, I try not to watch or listen to any news. I'll read a little bit, see what's going on, so because I don't want to be clueless. But I started reading books again. I started getting into arts and crafts and doing things. Um, Shared on a post. I decided to start making some pendulums. I made my own little pendulum. And like I was laughing about, it looks, I like Monet, but it looks more like Picasso. But it's been working really good for me, so I really like it. It's been doing a good job. Yes, this too shall pass. I say that a lot. And I think the world's getting ready for a reset. There's going to be a lot happening next year. And I think it's going to bring about a lot of positive changes. Of course, the rest of the world's right now going through some positive changes. I mean, some areas not quite, but it's going to start happening. By the middle of next year, we should start seeing a lot of positive things happening. And I don't know if y'all believe in others, the others. You can call them aliens, the visitors, the ones who were here before us, whatever. But I do believe in them, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot more and more up in the skies because I think the time's coming for not so much disclosure, but reunions. Reunions are the words that seem to spring to mind. Oh, well, that's really great. A side hustle with car pictures. Oh, and I bet that brings you happiness. That is, oh, I wish you wonderful luck with that. I bet that brings you happiness. So you are going into something that brings you happiness and joy and working with it. And that is great. I mean, you can, so many things you can do with pictures now. Some people are making calendars, and some people are making even cards, designing the cards and then getting with someone if they don't, if they don't do the intuitiveness, getting with someone that does, that can use their designs. There's so many things you can do. Yeah, well, right now that's because times are kind of hard, but hey, someone finds some of those pictures, brings them joy, they'll splurge and they'll get one or two. But yeah, a lot of people are cutting back now on a lot of things. we've started planting fruit trees in our yard, and we're getting our hydroponics set up so that by next year we're just going to start growing a lot of our own stuff. And I think a lot of people are doing that. I know. I wanted to have something relaxing. That's why I didn't want to be inside. Outside, my fire is going down. Pretty much, yeah, it's going down a little bit, but this just seems nice. Got the cicadas going. Nice loud frog over here to the side that's looking for love, I guess. Hasn't gotten the answer. Lots of look. And see, that's how it goes. People will start looking, and then something will catch their attention, and they'll go back and want it. They'll show it to a few people, and who knows? That's how it starts. Do you have a platform for it also, like on YouTube, put pictures and on one of the other platforms? Oh, good. I'm glad. I'll have to check them out then. I just, I, I've even strayed away from YouTube a little bit lately, just doing some posts here and there, just trying to get myself calm again. And I think I'm finally in that space where I feel calm and relaxed. And Thursdays and Fridays, I take care of my grandson, so I'm really, I'm calm, and I'm so relaxed, I think I'll be able to finally sleep tonight. Yeah, I think I like the StreamYard. It's really good. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier than doing the YouTube. I can really never see the chats on YouTube, just 2 or 3 at a time. And who knows, maybe I'll get good enough at this that I can start having someone on here with me and we can talk ghost stories and all kinds of things. I have a whole hodgepodge of stuff I've grown up with that I thought was pretty normal, but more and more I talk to people, I guess I really am not normal. I thought it was normal that when I would sleep at night when I was little, I would put the sheet over my face because there were three cloaked figures that liked to stand at the end of the bed and watch me sleep, and I just didn't like that. And nobody could see them but me. Yes, normal is overrated. It must be, because, hey, I've had a lot of experiences, is all I can say. And I guess that helps me out in the long run. Made me not afraid of ghosts and stuff when I would come across them. They never touched me. They just liked to come in and stand at the edge of the bed and just watch me. And so I would kind of like curl up into the middle of the bed, and I taught my parents at one time to put my bed against the wall so I could get near the wall and put the sheet over my face. um, Not anymore. I used to, like, when a loved one crosses over, they used to come visit me. Well, well, actually, they still do. I haven't had one crossover that hasn't visited. My dad hasn't, he's been gone 3 years. He didn't come straight at me and visit like my great aunt and them did. Um, we were on kind of outs. We played nice near the end because my mom put her foot down and said no one will be disowning anyone. I'm afraid here in Florida, a lot of families kind of got split up with MAGA. My he's come to me in dreams but not talked to me, kind of like stood to the side. Um, I've talked to him a little bit, but he comes to me through the last lifetime we had because we got along so well in that lifetime. And my best friend finally showed up, but all she did was this bright white light flashed right by in front of me. And then I started smelling her patchouli incense that she loves so much. But no, I don't really see them anymore. As far as just seeing average, looking around and seeing people, not really. I mean, I think the ghosts I saw were pretty much at the house. You know, they were around that house. And the last house I lived in, I didn't see the ghost. I heard them, and when one crossed the line and she started shaking me in the mornings to wake me up, that crossed the line because I told them they can make noise and they can do whatever they want. Just don't touch me. And when she started shaking me awake, yeah, that was a little over the line for me, so I crossed them over. And sometimes that's really what they want, is just help crossing over. I think they were just confused that I was living in their house, even though they sold it to me before they crossed over. Yeah, I feel pretty safe. I've always I've always felt safe. The ghosts never bothered me. I don't know why. I just always felt safe. I think it's because when I was about I think about 8 years old, my friend's parents had a Ouija board. I never heard of a Ouija board. So we played with the Ouija board, and then we brought it to my house, and we watched Shock Theater and stuff like that, and then we played Ouija board. And never touched it again after that. I think we brought someone through, and there was this ghostly white face that would appear in my closet when I'd open the door to get clothes. Was not a fan of that. And then the face of this woman started appearing in the mirrors. Not a fan of that. And then I started having nightmares about this woman who looked like an elderly woman with red glowing eyes, and she carried a sword. And she would go in and create nightmares from my dreams, and she'd always go after this one cousin I had, this little cousin that was um, mentally challenged. And I would feel so much trying to save her. And I thought it was just me until I started talking to a neighbor, this guy my age. And my little brother was talking to him and telling him about the same woman coming into his nightmares or dreams and making him nightmares. And that's when I realized that, oh, she was real and it wasn't just my dreams turning into nightmares. And the last time I saw her, I woke up and I heard my brother gasping in his room like he couldn't breathe. So I got up and I went into his room, and he was wide awake, staring, and he was holding his throat, and she was standing over him with the sword like she was going to decapitate him. And she turned and looked at me and smiled. And all of a sudden, I felt no fear. In fact, I didn't even feel like I was in my body. I felt like I was outside watching someone else step in. And I felt my face just smile at her. And she had this look of horror. And my hand just reached up and flicked the light on. And she screamed and fell into the wall and disappeared. And we never saw her again. And I never had another experience like that again. So I always felt pretty safe. Whoever stepped in me, I think it was an angel. That's the way I looked at it. Whoever stepped in me scared her so bad and vanished her that I just never really worried about stuff like that. Ghosts just never scared me after that. I felt like there was someone watching me and protecting me, and I just would ask that they be sent to the most appropriate plane, you know, because it's not for me to decide where to send them. So I would just pray for them to be sent to where they needed to be. Oh yeah, I've learned about closing. I used to, I think the scariest things I've gone through, besides that, 'cause that was pretty scary up until the end, was the first time I meditated. It was back in the 80s. And my best friend talked me into going to these spiritual classes with her because I told her I'm totally against religion. I got kicked out of organized religion when I was like 9 and 10. So I knew that I wouldn't, that I would know my place when a certain question was answered. Because I would ask, and when I went to the church, I had asked, why is the Lord your shepherd that you don't want? Why wouldn't you want the Lord to be your shepherd? And it's a simple question, and they never had an answer. In fact, I always got in trouble. That's not why I got kicked out. I got kicked out I deserved it. But she talked me into going to these classes. So I went to the first class with her, and I was feeling pretty good about it. And on the way home, there was this, it was like a flea market, and I'd never seen one there before. So we pulled over and we went in, and it looked like and they said, oh, they were getting ready to close up. And this person had some old books, and I walked over and I just pulled one out, and it had the Lord's Prayer. And I'm like, I start to look at it. I go, how much do you want for this book? And they said $1. And that's all I had on me. And I opened it up, and it went through, and it talked about the Lord's Prayer and why you would not want the Lord as your shepherd, because the Lord's already your shepherd. You don't want something you already have. Like I said, it was very simple. And then I knew that I was already on the path I need to be. So I kept going to those classes. And then he started talking to us about meditation and teaching us breath work. So we had our first assignment, and I was so excited about it, and had my first crystal. And I went home, and after, my husband was in bed, and I got the baby in bed, I had my candle going, I had my crystal in my hand, I did my breathing exercises, I had the music going, and I just sat there and did breathing exercises. No one told me what happens when you meditate. And I'm a firm believer of knowing what to expect. And all of a sudden, this large eye appeared, floating towards me, because I had my eyes open, because no one said you had to close your eyes for meditation. This eye was floating towards me. And my first thoughts were, I've lost it. I'm crazy. How am I going to raise my baby if I'm going crazy? So I ended it right then and there. And so at the next class, he called us separately to tell him what happened in our meditation. And so when we sat down and I started telling him what happened, he got all excited and, did you go into it? And I looked at him like he was crazy. I go, did I walk into the eye? He's like, yes, did you walk into it? No, no one said anything, and no one said anything about me walking into an eye. As to meditate, I can see the shadow of an eye, but an eye has never come at me again. But that was, yeah, that was a strange experience for my first meditation. Yeah, well, somebody should have told me, and he was so upset with me. But it's like, hey, everyone always told me I was weird, and then all of a sudden, here I have an eye coming at me. I had no idea. I was new at all this. Hi, Maureen. How are you doing? So I did try for years afterwards. Well, I wouldn't say years. Every now and then I'd try again, but the eye never came. So I looked at it this way: it showed itself. I know it's there. I'm no longer afraid of it. I see the shadow of it when I close my eyes. So I like to think all is good. I'm glad you're hanging in there. I know it's rough. Everybody's going through a lot of rough now. That's why I was hoping to do something where maybe start something on Friday nights. We'll just have fun. Yes, you're forewarned. If you ever meditate and an eye comes at you, apparently you're supposed to walk into it. But after that, I decided I wouldn't be afraid anymore. So I started doing the meditation again and doing the breath work. And I had this wonderful crystal. Oh, it was so beautiful. It was a smoky quartz, and it looked like it had a oriental garden in it. It was so beautiful. I don't have it anymore because I wrapped it in silk and put it away, and it disappeared on me because I was afraid to use that again. It was my second attempt at meditating, and I was doing it at work instead of eating because I would snack here and there with salads, and I didn't want to spend I got an hour for lunch because I was in entertainment. So I was sitting down every day at the same time. I had the lights out, the music going, um, and I was snake charming at the time. So the snake would come up and curl up on me, and I would just pet it while I was doing my breath work and relaxing. And I was looking at the crystal while I was meditating, and all of a sudden I saw purple above, kind of over at the side. So I look over, and this purple cloud started appearing. And I was watching it, and the first few days that it happened, it was gorgeous. The first time, it was a cliff. It was like watching TV. The purple would fade away, and it was like looking at a television or a movie. And I would see a cliff, and I would see birds flying around and nesting on the cliff, and it was so relaxing. And I looked forward to it every day. And then all of a sudden, the cliff, the purple would start appearing again. And when it would disappear, I would see a jungle with a black panther. And it would just be going through the jungle. And it was just so cool. So every day I looked forward to meditating, you know, for lunch. The final time well, no, not the final. Um, the clouds started appearing a third time. I'd see the cliff, I'd see the jungle with the panther, and then all of a sudden a classroom appeared. And the teacher at the board looked like a cross between Einstein and Samuel Clemens. And I'd hear the giggling of the students, and the teacher turned and he looked at me and he went, "No." And he'd do this, and the cloud would appear, and then that was it. And then I couldn't even bring the cliff or anything when I'd meditate. So I'd wait a week, and I'd come back, and I'd say, "Okay, I'm going to do it again." So I'd do it again. I start out with the cliff, and I go to the jungle, and I think, okay, cliff and jungle only, cliff and jungle only, no class, no class. I didn't know about intentions, and by even saying it, I'm putting it out there, and I didn't realize that. And of course, the class came back. So the second time, he got really upset and stern, and gave me and closed it up again. Okay, well, the third time, I'm like, okay, no class, no class, any but no, 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 no. And it closed, and the snake started standing up in my lap and looking up. So I turned and started looking up over my head, and the purple cloud started appearing up there, only it was really small. And I'm watching it, and all of a sudden, before I could even move, the snake just dove across the room, and this hand came out like it was coming down to grab me, and I hit the floor and was rolling, and the cloud disappeared. And yeah, that was it for meditating. I didn't start meditating again until just recently, about a year ago. And thankfully, so far, nothing weird has happened. That's what my teacher said, that not many experience that. He said monks spend lifetimes in caves trying to. Um, I've been told many times that this is supposed to be my last time here. And I've always felt that I did not belong here. So maybe that's why, because it's my last time here. Well, I definitely don't have that crystal anymore. Um, I've learned a lot more since then now. I make sure I'm protecting myself. I make sure I'm grounded. I do the whole ritual surrounding myself and calling on, help. So I feel more secure now. Um, that's why when I was meditating with the fire, and and then I decided to tape it for a bit to put on YouTube so that others could use the fire to relax and meditate. And I realized that a portal was opening in the fire, right above the fire. And that did kind of worry me, and I did put the fire out. And since then, I found out it was more of a calling card portal. It was not a portal like the teacher. That that the beings, when they're going to come here to make contact, that was like a calling card apparently. So that portal was mainly to bring awareness that I'm going to have contact. So I'm not scared of it anymore. I'm not worried. And I've raised my children now, so they don't need me. They have their own families. So if something happens, I end up back. So mm, oh, I'm back. Okay. Sorry about that. Like I said, we've been having a lot of um, power outages and internet problems here in my area because I live out in the country in Central Florida. But yeah, um, I can't. I used to meditate for like 45 minutes, and I can't do that anymore. And I know that's because of all the stuff that happened before. I'm having to restart. So I'm going back to basics and restarting over on doing breath work and just small meditations. But so telling y'all a lot about me, you're going to be bored because crazy stuff always happens to me. Did I lose y'all? Are you there? not showing anything. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I've been having normal things like everyone else lately. The ringing in the ears, changing tunes, and then around the time I saw the that portal starting to open in the fire, I started getting the clicking in my right ear. So I'm getting upgrades, downloads, whatever. But I'm I feel pretty calm about it nowadays. But I've had a lot of weird experiences. I went to we went to Ireland. My husband had turned 50, and apparently we brought stomped around and the on and off. The dog chasing the dog through the house, upsetting my husband because my husband likes to not believe in anything, and this being was making my husband believe, which was very uncomfortable for him. So I called a friend over, and she came over, and we just sent asked for him to be sent to where he's supposed to be. I don't do the cast out. That's not my place. So we asked for him to be sent, and there was laughter. He laughed. He left.